Okay, next car. Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. So the car, it's 2009 I think it is, or 2010 Mercedes C-Class. I believe this is the C220, and the problem with this car is the following. I'm gonna start the engine. So that's my problem there. Engine light. The owner said to me, I think it's the DPF. I asked him why he thinks it's the DPF. He says, well, I think it's a DPF because the car is really sluggish and it doesn't have any power. I haven't drove the car, so we might have to go for a road test. But nevertheless, we will first plug the RT pad. Yes, it's still with me. So we're gonna plug the RT pad and see what we have. And just as I said, is the C220 CDI. Okay, let's gonna see what my engine is here. There's a little bit of glare, which unfortunately I can't really get rid of it. Okay, read fault codes. Ta-da! There we go. So, I guess the guy had the car scanned somewhere else because the diagnostic port was open. So, okay, so current and stored. So the input for differential pressure sensor 1 in the diesel or rubber. For it as a short circuit to ground. There is a short circuit to ground or a open circuit. And then a stored code, the pressure on the cylinder 1 is too low, leakage or a defective silver detector. Okay, so I think that one was probably is a code that is obviously maybe before that one came in, that one happened. So P2454 14. So that's my code. Okay, let's gotta go back. Let's gonna look at some live data. First time I'm using the RT pad for something like this. Oh dear. Oh, the glare is terrible, guys. Anyway, let me see. Where? Oh, there we go. Let's get 14. Let's get all data on here. Okay, air mass, that's fine. Ash content of diesel particle filter 3 grams. This has been reset. Coolant temperature sensor, temperature stream. So diesel differential pressure sensor 0.9 bars. Exhaust back pressure sensor 1.14. Feel of the level sensor 101%. Injecting quantity, soot 5 grams. Total distance at last correction of ash content 116,000 kilometers. Okay, so let's look at what I want to look at. These two values here. So that value and that value. So when I press my accelerator, I do actually have pressure, so hold on, I remember doing one of these, and there's something with these two things here that I can't recall now. Okay, let's open the bonnet, check everything around, and analyze this data. Hold on. Okay, so I went back and I proper looked at this because I recall getting something wrong when doing a similar one. So I think this video is actually going to end up by being very similar. This exhaust back pressure is something else that is related to the DPF, but the actually differential sensor is actually this one here, okay? And this one, with the ignition on, engine off, it should be reading about 0.02 or something like that. And either with ignition on or off, you always read 0.9. So engine is off at the moment, as you can see. Okay, and when I start the engine, which I want to do now, let me press the brake. As you can see, I still have the same reading. So let's gonna inspect the sensor, wiring, etc., just to make sure we have indeed a faulty sensor and not a wiring problem. And we'll go from there really, but right now at this point, even if I try to force a regen, it's not gonna work because of that. It's gonna need a regen. We will do that once we have this repaired, but for now we're gonna concentrate on the sensor and perhaps replace it if it needs to. And now I'm really pissed off. So I went in there just to check the wiring. As I start to touch the wiring, my code goes to stored, and where's that thingy? And my B28-8 goes to that. My level of diesel power goes down to 70%. That goes to 0001. And I got really pissed off. So either we have a bad connection in there, or we have a bad wiring. Or we have a bad sensor, and just because I've touched it, it kinda, I really don't know. Okay, so let me strip that down around that sensor and see if there's anything in there. Actually, I'm gonna take the machine and I'm gonna wiggle those cables and plugs, see if I can make that go back to the same value as was before. Okay, might be something silly, but it's just me, or this plug is not all the way in. Moving this plug doesn't really make a difference, at least the value doesn't really change, but could it be something here? Let's turn the ignition on and take this off and see if this is proper plugged in. Okay. Ignition is off. Might be just me, guys. It might be that the plug is all the way in, the way it should, which actually looks like it is. Yeah, it's all the way in. Okay, so while I have this unplugged, I'm gonna unplug the sensor at the back and get a good measurement. Okay. Now that comes out. Now look. The wires look good, I'm not gonna lie. They look good. It doesn't look like nothing's been rubbing anywhere or anything like that, but you never know. Okay, let's plug this in here again. It's really strange that one plug goes, well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let me turn, hold on. Turn the ignition back on again. Yeah, and I back to zero millibars. Will this be a bad sensor that is failing under certain pressures, or it could be that actually. It could be the sensor that is failing under certain pressure, but I would have to take it off to obviously check. Okay, so shall I just get maybe a new sensor, and because the sensor would not fix itself, that's for sure. And if it's failing, the wiggle test is not bringing anything. It's reading 0 all the time now. It could be that yeah, it could be that the sensor is failing, and sorry about that, guys. I should have stopped the video. Oh dear. Okay, it's in there. 0. The glare is just terrible. So 0.00. It reads something, to be fair. Let me open this. Okay, and another thing that I've noticed is the car now is revving past 3000 RPMs, which was not doing before. So that's something as well. So now I know I could go for a drive and I could regen the car, but what if the sensor fails again? Which I think is going to be the sensor, and it will fail again. So I'm a little bit reluctant to leave the same sensor here. I think I'm going to change it. I think it's better that way. Get a new sensor. Check the wiring, obviously, but the wiggle, I've been wiggling those wires now. It looks like the sensor was stuck. Either reading that pressure all on maximum, and now somehow it released. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think it's better to change the sensor. And let's gonna start by measuring these wires. So I've disconnected the sensor. ECU has been removed. I know for a fact it comes to this plug somewhere. So I'm not sure about the pinout, but let's just find 3 wires on this plug that obviously comes into this one. Okay, here's my first one. So pin what? Pin 1 on here comes to pin 53 on the multiplex. So now, while we have these connected, we'll do a proper wheel test. Make sure that's more than good. Move. Hold on a second, guys, because I'm trying to do something there. Okay, just routing a wire through a different place in there. So that's gonna go to pin number 2. That should come to a pin near here, I guess. Oh, there we go. Yep, that's pin 2453. Once again. Now this is going to be my sensor, guys. 100% sure. This is going to be my sensor. Pin number 3. There we go, it's pin 7, 8, 9. Pin number 9. As you might have heard, I was being called. Okay, so this is the last one. It's a really short run of wires. Okay, this is gonna be my sensor, guys. I'm just wasting my time now. It's not the first time that I've seen these sensors kind of get stuck at one of the ends, either reading full or reading low pressure sensors, and then if you play a little bit with the, I don't know, with the pressures and stuff, sometimes they read. You're gonna see videos, or you've seen most likely videos in the past where I've showed you exactly that. So I think that's it. I'm gonna order a new sensor, remove this one out, get hold of a new sensor for this. I'm gonna get a Mercedes sensor. I'm not gonna go third party or anything like that. I'm just gonna go brand new for Mercedes, put it in, and then get a regeneration done, and should be it. Really quite simple, but I'll take through the rest of the process. Okay, and here we have the new sensor. It's a different part number, A64290501000. The other one was A00615395528. So this is the one that supersedes the old one. 65 pounds, I believe he was. So that's gonna fit this and try to do a regen and go from there, and hopefully we'll get a fix. Okay, and the new sensor is now in place. I managed to use the same clips and clip them back in just by tilting a little bit the sensor and get the pliers through. So now it's just a matter of put the new bolts, just to put the bolts back on, tie everything up, put everything back in place, and should be it. Before we start the engine, everything is back in place, by the way. Before we start the engine, let's go into see if there is a procedure to reset the sensor, which I believe is going to be. Let's see if there is. Teaching processes. Okay, so this is a filter. No, we didn't replace that. teaching filter. Oh, sorry. Actually, there isn't. There is nothing here to reset the actually sensor. So in that case, this is now stored. So let's clear these two codes, clear fault codes. Yes. Ignition off. Okay, ignition back on. And we have no codes. Let's just quick check my live data. Where was that thing? Was the... Let's see if we have the right reading on the pressure now. There we go. Yep. -000. So I'm going to start the engine, let it to warm up, and then we're going to force regeneration while driving, as you have seen on the other page of special functions, and hopefully that will work. So let me see what I have here just to see. So we have here, so suit 5 grams, total distance 116,000 kilometers, ash content 3 grams. Okay, so either way we're gonna do that. So there we go, no lights, which is good. We have some readings in there as well. So let's gonna get everything ready, close the bonnet, and that's it. While driving, if you don't know to a loss. No, okay, unimportant as burns do. Okay, let's go for it. Notes, yeah. I already checked the oil level, by the way. Okay. Now, I know I haven't replaced the filter, but we're gonna go for it anyway. Okay, so that's exactly where I am now. I haven't left home yet. What? So, I'm back home. The filter is at 66%. I start to have a little bit of pressure in there. The car is not regenning at all, and it looks like to force a regen while driving, according to the top down. I need to tell her that I replaced the filter first, but I haven't replaced the filter. But I want to force a regen, so I don't know if I should just carry on driving, and eventually that will the pressure will increase and the regen will automatically start. Not really sure. So what I've done is I've carried on driving. So the car never actually regened. The car is driving absolutely perfect. Full rev engine now. It was in limp mode before when I first got it. But as I carry on driving, if you remember, guys, I was saying 66%. As I carried on driving, I believe what was happening is, obviously I don't have pressure there to regen. I didn't want to tell the car that the DPF has been replaced when it actually wasn't. So I've just carried on driving. I drove for about half an hour or so, maybe a little bit less. And as I was driving, that 66% just started to come down. And it actually came down to about 52. And then it started to go up again. So I believe what happened there was that the ECU, based on all the other parameters, it started to calculate the fill level of the filter again, now that the sensor is working properly. So I think that's what happened. So he's at 54% now. So yeah, so the car is driving absolutely perfect. I'm not going to do anything else to it other than a reset. That will be a separate video for that, just on the top ton, by the way. But yeah, so I'm quite happy with this. I'm going to drive back home, give the car back to the owner, and that should be it for this video, guys. So in the end, by the looks of it, was just the pressure sensor that was faulty. It got stuck, as you have seen, on that pressure. That was at the start of the video, and the car was just in limp mode. That was it. So what else to say, guys? Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you guys can find it useful, etc, etc. If you do have any questions, please, or comments, please put them below. And like always, thank you for watching.